Well, good evening, everyone. Tuesday conversation coming your way again. Another week gone by. It seems like they go so quick anymore, but so is life, right? But think about this, folks. 49 days until the election on November 6th, 34 days until early voting starts, and just a short 3 weeks to make sure you're either A, registered, or B, your registration is up to date for where you live if you recently moved. So don't delay. Make sure you get your voter registration updated. If it's not, make sure you register to vote if you're not. And this time is going to go by real quick. Time goes by so fast, and we don't even think about it sometimes. Life just passes us by, and we don't take time to consider what's going on sometimes. And we need to do that and take a break and look at life, but understand that we have to take advantage of the time we have. And even though sometimes we feel it goes slow or it goes fast, guess what? A second goes by, a second at a time, and it doesn't actually change. So, funny thing about science and time. Anyway, I digress. So, get registered to vote if you're not. And there's several ways you can register. You can go to Election Central, which is out on Airport Road, right next to the Lone Star Convention Center in Conroe near the airport, and fill out your registration application and turn it in right there. You can also go to either of the Democratic or Republican Party headquarters in the county. The Democratic Party headquarters is on Fraser in Conroe, and the Republican Party headquarters is on Metcalf in Conroe. And there's always VDVRs that are available to help you fill out your forms and get them turned in so that you're registered to vote and you can participate in our democratic process. And it's so important that we get more people to participate in our democratic process. For far too long, we've been electing people with a minority of the population that live in an area, and we really need to change that. So I hope people are getting excited about this election cycle. We have many contested races in the county for the first time in over 30 years, and I think it's important that people get excited and participate, because we should be electing our officials with a majority of our population and not a minority, so that you can get the representation that you want in your government, whether it be a city, a school board, the county government, state government, or the federal government. So either way, I encourage everyone to go vote. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't care which way you vote. I just want you to participate, because it's your civic duty, and I want you to do that. Time. Let's talk about time. I talked about time a little bit before. This takes me back to when I left on deployment from Norfolk, Virginia in January of 2003. I felt like I was leaving on a deployment that, honestly, we didn't know when we were coming back. We were told we didn't know when we were coming back. This was our first deployment after 9/11 occurred, and they basically said, pack for a while, and off we went. And I can tell you, as standing officer of the deck and going out to sea, heading east in the Atlantic Ocean away from Virginia Beach, Virginia, as that beach got smaller and smaller and it ultimately disappeared, honestly, we had no idea when we were coming back. We knew we had a mission to do, but talk about time and thinking about, gosh, how long are we going to be gone? 6 months, 10 months, 12 months? We weren't really sure. But I can tell you, during the course of that deployment we went over to the Mediterranean, went through the Suez Canal and around to the Persian Gulf. We sat in the Persian Gulf and drove in circles for a while, quite frankly. And we did that for 92 days. 92 days without ever seeing a port, which is pretty unusual, quite frankly, for a fast attack submarine. So that's over 3 months, by the way, folks. 3 months underwater in a steel tube designed to sink in the water. Engineering, it's amazing. But we executed our mission. March of 2003, when the war started, we launched over 20 Tomahawk missiles into Iraq in support of our ground troops when the Iraq war started, and executed our mission. And we were fortunate that we did that safely, and we were able to depart and headed back to the Mediterranean and ultimately headed back home. And our deployment ended up being 6 months, almost to the day 6 months, by the way. But it was quite a time, and talk about time going by. 15 years later, here we sit, and gosh, it seemed like a blink of an eye, quite frankly. Even at the time, it felt like it went by so slow. But like I said earlier, a second is a second. So they keep ticking away, and they don't go backwards, at least not yet. So anyway, my point of the story is that time goes by real quick, and we have to take advantage of the time we have, and we can't let life pass us by. So we have 49 days that we're focused on for this election, 49 days to drive home my message. And let's talk about that message. Let's talk about the county judge. The county judge, what does the county judge do? A lot of people don't know what the county judge does. So let me tell you, the county judge is not a legislator. The county judge does not make laws. The commissioner's court does not make laws. The county judge is the head of the commissioner's court, and he sits on the commissioner's court with the 4 elected commissioners in the 4 precincts around the county. And combined, what we do, what the commissioner's court does, is they execute the business of the county. The best description of the county judge is that person is the chief executive officer of the county. He's an administrator. Call him the senior administrator of the county. That person ensures that the county functions the way it's supposed to, that it's funded to be able to provide the departments with the funds and the resources they need to provide the services to you around the county, whether that's roads or bridges, whether that's parks, whether that's a marriage license, whether that's the county airport, whether it's the animal shelter, the list goes on. But that is what the job is. So I stress all the time that this job is a partisan race about nonpartisan politics. And it truly is. This job has nothing to do with things that divide Democrats and Republicans, because the truth is we're going to disagree on policy issues when it comes to politics. And that's perfectly okay. That's why we live in this place called America, because it's okay to disagree with people. It's okay to have a different opinion. It's okay to sit and debate these things and express your opinions on them. It's perfectly fine. And when that discussion is over, you can be friends with the person you're having the discussion with. It's okay. There is nothing wrong with that. You don't have to defame anybody or tell anybody they're crazy or terrible because they're a Republican or a Democrat. That's not what it's about. That's not what our country's about, and it's never what our country is going to be about. I can tell you that right now from the deepest part of my heart and soul, having served this country for over 14 years on active duty service. I can tell you that is not what our country's about. As a military leader, I didn't care what political party people were affiliated with that worked for me on a submarine. All I cared about is that we built a team, we executed the mission, and we came home alive. That is what the mission was. That was what my job was as an officer, to make sure they had the skills to do their job, they did their job effectively, and we all came home to our families. That is what America's all about. That is what gives us all the ability to have a First Amendment right to speak our mind and think the way we do and have our opinions. And it's okay. We don't have to agree. I can't say it enough, because we have to get over that. So, again, county judge, really not a partisan job. This job is about the transparent, accountable, responsible spending of your tax dollars. That's what this job's about. That's why I'm running. I'm going to bring the tools that I have learned in the military, the tools I have learned as a project manager in the oil and gas industry. I want to bring that to Montgomery County so that I can serve the people of Montgomery County in the best way possible, so that their government provides them all the tools they need to be successful. So that's why I'm running. So come to an event. Come talk to me. Don't be afraid to talk to me. I'm not afraid. I went to a Republican women's group meeting last night, and it wasn't like they booed or shunned me out the door. I had great conversations with people, because that's what we have to get back to. We have to get back to the ability to sit and talk civilly. Sometimes we agree to disagree, which is absolutely fine. That's what the United States is about. That's why we have a constitution, and that's why we have this political system, and that's why we have contested races in politics. So I hope you guys have a great week. I hope to see you this week, and I'll see you next week. I'll see you out there.